All right, well, Ryan, I know that you are a guy who invests in a lot of people, especially junior high kids. I know you're
Right.
involved in the fuel ministry, and I've been to your house where, you'll have them over skateboarding and stuff. And when you go to invest in one of the kids, how do you go about that?
I look for the kids that are troubled, kind of in the place where I was at when I was their age. And, I can see that they're looking for help like I was. And I had nobody to turn to, though, when I was that age. So I try to listen to what they have to say, what's going on in their life, stories they have, what's troubling them, kids making fun of them, things like that, because it's different. So I just try and form a kind of a bond with those kind of kids.
And as you hang out with them and as you try to be a good influence on them, what changes do you see that take place in their lives? How do you see that the time that they spend with you, what kind of difference does that make?
I try to get them to just be themselves more than, hiding behind the mohawk or the earrings, you know what I mean? And trying to get to know me through the tattoos and who I am and see them evolve into Christians, get God in their life more than going down the wrong road. I'd be afraid. So I just try and introduce them more to God and bring them up that way.
Yeah. And I know you're a busy guy and, you live a little further away than probably most people do from the church.
Right.
But how do you find time in your schedule to do things like this?
I make time.
Yeah.
Between working on the farm and working full time and trying to work in ministry, it's hard. But we make time for it, Elizabeth and I. And the main thing, the most important thing to me is these kids working more than my farm or anything like that. I make time to be their friend, so
yeah,
whatever I got to sacrifice to do it, I do it. So
yeah, and I know, like for example, Brad Middlestad is a kid that you've poured and invested a lot into him, and I think last year he got baptized. And when you see things like that, like kids that you've been pouring into, you see them get baptized or make big changes in their life. How rewarding is that for you?
It's just, there's no words to describe it. Just the fact that, somebody who's borderline ready to leave the church just walks in and, one day gives his life to God. It's amazing.
Yeah. Who is somebody who has really been an influence in your life?
I started coming to Christ Church about 18 months ago and solidly over the last year. And I met Tree Sanjeski in the Discover Christ Church to be a member group.
Okay.
And from there, we started a friendship. And really, she's fantastic. She's long-suffering, listening to me. Any challenges that I faced, I knew I could always go to her, and no condemnation, never upset, just always ready to listen and full of truth.
Yeah.
And she's been a marvelous influence on me.
And what kind of change has taken place in your life, from having this friendship with her? My faith in Christ and in myself has grown tremendously. And I'm at the point now where I've just started mentoring a young woman in her early 20s. That's
so
awesome.
I can take this fresh start that Therese gave me and pass it down to this new one. And it's thrilling, and I feel like not only have I received, but now I can give.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing to my heart.
That's awesome. All right, Tracy, well, who is somebody who has really influenced your life?
I am in the Overcomers ministry, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. And the person that has really influenced my life is Sheila Nadeau. She is my sponsor, and without her guidance in this program, the 12-step program, I don't think that I would be where I am today. She, when I first came into the program, she just reached out to me without even knowing me in a way that I never thought anybody could. And it was like she knew me forever. And it was like God brought us together. And so she has made a real impact on my life.
All right, Dave. Well, I know that you're a guy who invests in a lot of young people. You kind of have a reputation at Doxa for investing in the young men there. And how do you go about doing that?
I relate. I relate to being 20-something and looking for something, and not necessarily finding it the first time out. So, and realizing that it's a journey. If I can save somebody a few steps, that's where I want to be.
Yeah. And when you notice somebody who you can relate to, what do you try to do so that to kind of build that bridge so that you can be an influence in their life? Do you try to take them out to dinner, or what do you try to do?
Just to be real. Be real. I like the small group atmosphere, the men's small group atmosphere. That's an opportunity, I think. I think generationally speaking, it's a great opportunity to have a mix of younger guys and older guys together and sharing that perspective.
Brad, who is somebody who has really influenced your life?
Ryan Davis, definitely, and his wife Elizabeth, both of them.
How have they influenced you?
They just made me, I'd say, a better person all around. They give me someone to look up to, that I can relate to.
Yeah. And what kind of things did they do to be an influence in your life?
Well, when it started, I came to church and I didn't really have any connections with anyone. And I liked skateboarding to start with, and Ryan was into that, and me and him would go out and hang out together. And then it got into our musical tastes. We connected there. And then from there, we all just became friends, and now I go hang out at their house, and they're kind of like part of my family now.
And where do you think your life today would be if Ryan and Elizabeth never really took an interest in you?
I can say I definitely would not be at church and involved like I am.
Hank, who are some people who've been an influence in your life?
I would have to say, first and foremost, my mother, probably. First of all, my Uncle Dave. They've been even before I really got involved in church. They were my kind of spiritual leaders, I guess. But I guess Chet Beatler probably got me involved in ministry. That's
through
where
coercion.
Through coercion, yeah. He forced me, kind of forced attrition sort of thing. No, I'm just kidding. But he got me involved in Christ Church, and anybody that's led me a small group for me or with me, just Joe Salutric, Doc, obviously, listening to him every week, Paul Crocker, his sermons, anybody in the band, just lots of people.
Where do you think your life would be without some of these people's influence?
Especially going through some hard times the last 5-6 years, it would be hard to say exactly where. I think I could say with pretty much all my assuredness that it would be not as good a place, that's for sure. God has definitely, through all these people, led me to a better place and showed me how to handle life's adversity.